Ross, what's up, man? What's good with you, brother?
What's up, man? Just ready to separate the wheat from the fucking straw.
Man, we got to delve right into this bullshit and this fuck shit all over again. Once again, you got a bunch of these dumb motherfuckers. And when I say dumb, I mean it. Dumb motherfuckers, commentators, subscribers, people that go from one channel to the next, opera singers, yeah, 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 yeah. And then they go to another channel, yeah, 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 and singing the same bullshit. People got this whole Floyd Mayweather thing mixed up. They don't even understand what Floyd was talking about. Why would Floyd cut against the grain of Al Heyman? Why would Floyd Mayweather basically say the fight is not happening because he's siding with Terrence Crawford? Isn't Floyd Mayweather part of the PBC machine? If he's
Right.
part of the PBC machine, why would he go against the PBC machine? Sometimes I think dumb motherfuckers don't even realize the dumb shit that's coming out of their mouths and the shit that they're spewing. So we really need to delve into this and we really need to break it right back down and lead the charge and show motherfuckers what time it is. So what's your take on this dumb shit that you see that spewing all across the internet today, man?
It's just funny that the LDBC uses Floyd when it's convenient. Uh, Majority of the time, they're hating on Floyd. They're throwing subtle shots at Floyd and Al Heyman, and now all of a sudden they're using Floyd for their agenda. I mean, anybody who know anything about boxing had already had a feeling that that fight wasn't going to happen on the 19th because they still had to sign a contract. These niggas wasn't even in the gym getting ready for the fight yet. So anybody, of course, Floyd could say he don't think the fight gonna happen because he don't. They ain't even signed a contract yet, and the fight supposed to be going down in less than a month. So of course the fight ain't happening yet. That don't have nothing to do with Terrence Crawford ducking.
Facts.
Because Terrence Crawford did all this, he spent all that time complaining about money, complaining about his cut, just to fight a lesser fighter for less money.
Facts.
How you do that? How is this nigga doing this? And how is people making an excuse for this? He spent months talking about he need more money and he need to see the books.
Exactly.
And the whole time he was already negotiating another fight at the same time for less money against a weaker. So basically a fight nobody gonna watch because nobody know who do this, so they're not gonna watch it.
Facts.
And people don't watch Bud like that either. So a fight nobody gonna watch
Yep.
was a company nobody never heard of out of nowhere. Come to find out, Blue Blood Sports TV is part owner, and this is gonna show you how fucking stupid people are.
Yep.
Okay, you're an LDBC fan, that's fine, but if you're a real man, you hold people accountable.
Exactly.
So you don't find it odd that this company, Black Prime TV, came out of nowhere, and when you start looking through the business partners, Blue Blood Sports TV is one of the main guys along with the LDBC, and the fight's not happening now because of them. And on their channels, they're making excuses for Bud. You can't put two and two together and see these motherfuckers are working behind the scenes to try to make sure Errol Spence never become undisputed.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
And that's
Come
why I
on.
did the petition on change.org. And this petition, once it gets 100 signatures, it doesn't matter what these motherfuckers do. That's why I want you guys that are tuning in, go to my community post, sign the damn petition, because once it happens, I get reached out by the commission, and then they now have to do the investigation to determine if this fight is going to happen or not. So let's get to 100 signatures so we stop the bullshit and the fuck shit. Because I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I took action with my own hands. Because
Hmm.
as a true boxing fan, you don't want to see no sucker shit like this.
Right.
What Terrence Crawford did is, if I was Shakur Stevenson, if I was Keyshawn Davis, like Coach L said emphatically, I want you guys to go watch those shorts that I put up. Coach L said, man, that's some sucker shit. That's a sucker move. Basically, he reconfirmed, basically re-ingratiated. He basically re-acknowledged the terminology that he knows and Tom Ross have been saying from the get-go. This is some sucker shit. He said, y'all sitting here getting on Jerron Boots Ennis. If Jerron Boots Ennis would have fought a David INVZB, whatever the fuck his, I don't give a flying fuck what his name is. You guys would have said it was a duck, and you guys would have said that he's fighting a nobody. He's fighting a tomato can. He's fighting a has-been. But with Terrence Crawford, y'all make excuses. And then you got the nerve to sit here and call me or Tom Ross a lawyer. Compared to you, dumb, slow, reject motherfuckers, yeah, we are lawyers. I'll take that as a compliment. That means we actually take the time out to look at the legalities of things. We take the time out to see all the nuances. We take the time out to actually not allow ourselves to be duped and to not be dodo fucking heads and dodo fucking brains. We actually think for a living. Y'all need to think. Where did all of this come about all of a sudden? You boxing fans, I told you, y'all motherfuckers are on the clock right now. The sport is on the clock. You motherfuckers don't go and sign that petition, you on the clock. You motherfuckers don't boycott this fight, you on the clock. Unlimited pressure. They've re-ingratiated the Tibetan Mastiff. The Tibetan Mastiff was asleep. Y'all motherfuckers fucked around and woke his ass up. So these motherfuckers don't even understand what's about to happen. So I'm telling y'all right now, go sign the damn petition. Because once you sign the petition, you send a message to Terrence Crawford. You don't get an 8-figure payday. You don't get to duck, and you don't get to have a fight like that. And you put him right where his rabbit ass belongs, waiting until Earl Spence fights his damn fight, and then have to wait until Earl Spence is ready for his ass. Because that's what he deserves. For this shit that he pulled, he deserves to be on the shelf again, waiting until Earl Spence fights his fight, and then they fight. Because that's the only way that this is going to make sense. That's the only way you could reciprocate this nonsense. We're not going to sit here and have people have vested interests, personal vested interests, like they're inside stock traders, like they know what the inside of the market is, have personal biases, have petulance, petty feminine trait fucking behaviors, all because they hate PBC. And you want to ruin the sport of boxing for that? Nah, not on this clock, man. And if you're a true boxing fan, you want to preserve this sport, you're not supporting Terrence Crawford versus David. I don't give two cows fucks what his name is. You are boycotting that fight. That fight is not happening. That fight becomes a dud. The company fails before it even starts. The startup becomes a non-up. And then you turn around and then you guys understand that when it's all said and done, motherfuckers need to pay attention.
People not asking themselves, why out of all people Bud could fight, let's say he need, why is he not fighting Keith Thurman? Why is he not fighting Danny Garcia? Andre Berto, somebody we know. Why is he fighting this guy, bro? Like nobody knows.
Because it goes to what Coach L said. Because Coach L, who is a coach of Jerron Boots Ennis, when I watched that interview, I was like, man, this guy, it's like this guy was watching us, or this guy thinks like us. Because he said, man, I've been telling y'all for years, Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. That's why Jerron Boots Ennis will stop him. The motherfucker ain't fought nobody. And you know what he said? He said, if I was Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis, I would run out of the camp. He made them look weak. They look up to him. You had Keyshawn Davis all of these months cheerleading for Terrence Crawford. Do you understand what you do to a young man's psyche when they cheerlead for you like that? They support you and then you duck?
Hustle guy. What you gotta understand is the LDBC rubs elbows with Top Rank, and they rub elbows with the Zone and Eddie Hearn. Who will me? I think Bob want to fight if he could benefit from it, but since he don't, who would benefit more from sticking it to Al Heyman? Who would benefit more from sticking it to Floyd Mayweather and Errol Spence. The LDBC just want to stick it to Floyd Mayweather and Errol Spence. Eddie Hearn and Bob Aaron want to stick it to Al because they can't stand a black man coming out of nowhere taking over boxing. That's probably where they got that 10 mil. Cause what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? If this man was smart, he would have used an alias or something. He would have, you know what I'm saying? He would have used he would have used a LLC, LLC. You know how some people when they do business, they
They
don't
use a
use their name.
fictitious company.
You know, some people they don't use their name. They use their company.
Mm-hmm.
He used his and he put his name. So now he's directly tied into the fight that helped somebody duck Errol Spence.
Yep.
These motherfuckers so smart, they stupid, man.
Yep.
OG Flash said, I can't lie. Without y'all two, everybody would be lost in the sauce right about now. Exactly. That's why y'all gotta take these lives, go on Facebook and put
Make
these
them
lives
viral.
in all the boxing channels. Just run them through all the boxing channels.
Make them viral, man. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's not for us holding y'all accountable and holding everything to the degree and the standard and preserving it, and even more so telling y'all the truth, because you won't find two brothers more so than Tom Ross TV and myself that will tell you guys exactly what you need to hear and not what you want to hear, man. We don't got the time and the business to pander and to cater to people. We're gonna tell it how we're gonna call it, and we're gonna call a spade a spade. We're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it a buck, and we're gonna keep it 1,000. And Terrence Crawford duck. This is the biggest duck in boxing history. If you're not saying this as a fight fan, then you're not truly a fight fan. If you're not calling this for what it is, you're not a fight fan. We
Mm-hmm.
just had the other day, Ross was like, damn, even he had to mention his day. We had our friend of me, IBFB, come out and say this shit is a duck. People are admitting shit. Y'all gotta admit this is a duck, man. And when you don't admit stuff like that and you don't say that, you're disrespecting the sport of boxing. This fight right here not happening, not going into fruition, has nothing to do with Earl Spence. And it has nothing to do with people trying to be slick saying Floyd said it wasn't going to happen. You don't even understand what Floyd is talking about, using Floyd Mayweather when it benefits you. But all the time, always got something slide to the mouth to say about him. Come on,
Right,
man.
right. I bet you Floyd ain't saying nothing about no Black Prime TV.
Nope.
That's
Why
y'all
would he? Why
doing.
would he promote them? Why would he promote them? What does he have to gain from that shit?
Right, right. That's y'all doing. He knew the fight wasn't going to happen. I mean, a black man can see that. After a while, a blind man can see that. But he ain't saying it's not going to happen because Black Prime TV. See how they try to tie two things together, man?
Mm-hmm.
These motherfuckers,
Exactly.
these motherfuckers out the chain, man. They need their ass whooped for this. They literally need to be dragged into a dark alley and need their ass beat for this.
Mm-hmm. And
That goes
Terrence
to show you.
Crawford needs to never not be off of the hook for this. This is the worst thing that could have ever happened to the sport of boxing. This is the biggest fight. Nobody's asking for Terrence Crawford to fight no David. I can't even spell his last name. That's
Right,
why when I watched that interview with Coach L, he was like, "Who the?" This is what I'm trying to tell you. We are all boxing connoisseurs. He was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" It's like they just got this guy off the shelf. He said, "I don't even know
right,
who this fucking fighter is." And he said, "And I watch all of the technicalities of guys coming up the ranks, guys that are actively fighting. It's like they just got Bud, a guy that they just came off the fucking shelf so that he can have a fight that nobody's asking for." And see this right here. I said Jerome Booth Ennis was 5 years in the making. This right here gives Booth credibility now because you got young guys that are willing to take on the competition, take on opposition, young guys that are willing to take on fights. And then you got Terrence Crawford because he feels that He's in the twilight of his career. It's interesting that he went to the Hall of Fame. When guys do shit like that, it's a surreal thing. He's basically telling you something. He's telling you that he
Mm-hmm.
sees the twilight of his career. He's telling you he sees the end. And boy, did Earl Spence make him see the end. This is ridiculous. Sean T, shout outs to you with the super chat. He said, my question is, what do the so-called legends think about Crawford's weak ass move? They've been quiet as fuck. I'm gonna throw the alley to Ross on that one.
You want to know why they've been quiet? Because you got to understand one thing. When you've been solely invested in somebody to the point of pretty much total total loyalty towards them, it takes a lot for you to then openly chastise them for the average man. The average man can't be loyal to you and chastise you at the same time because they learned their loyalty from women.
Facts.
But a man can be loyal to you and then be like, you know what, I think you wrong about this. You wrong about this. You shouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? Or 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 a real man don't have a problem with showing humility and be like, you know what? I think I overreacted to Terrence Crawford because as a warrior, as a boxer that I thought he was, I don't see why I can't justify him doing this. But instead of them holding him accountable, they'll just be quiet. Because a lot of these black celebrities, they paid off too.
Facts.
They paid off too. They say what white people want them to say.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. You notice now one of them now none of the old fighters be complimenting Al Heyman for the type of business that he do, and they all have been jerked. So they all know Al Heyman's doing good business. They won't say it because they know their place, and
Yep.
their place is not the praise of the black man. That's what.
Facts. And it's interesting you said that because look at what people are saying. Shakur will leave them. Shakur is definitely going to leave them because Shakur Stevenson, the bones in his body is not built like Terrence Crawford. This guy has the bones in his body to fight any and everyone. Shakur Stevenson is crazy enough to even be calling out Gervonta Davis. So I know he ain't built like Terrence Crawford, man. I'm sorry. Shakur, they're not gonna be able to keep Shakur where he's at, and Shakur's not gonna ever respect Terrence Crawford again. You're gonna hear Shakur Stevenson's gonna start sparring with Earl Spence. I'm telling you, this shit's coming. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Keyshawn Davis, you guys say he's too much of a fanboy to leave. Let me tell you something about guys that are young like that. When someone looks up to someone to that level and that person disappoints them, that person becomes their biggest enemy. Ross knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When you are a fan of someone to that level and then that person disappoints you after you've been rooting for that person the way that you've been rooting, that person becomes their biggest enemy. Don't be surprised if Keyshawn Davis starts talking shit about Bud because you guys got to understand Terrence Crawford is not with Top Rank. So these guys don't have any affiliation outside of what, just sparring with him to be on his side. The only reason why they were on his side is because they believed intrinsically and extrinsically, meaning on the inside and on the outside, intestinal fortitude wise, that they thought Bud was that dude.
Yep.
And they're disappointed right now. They're fucking disappointed right now. And the worst thing that you could do is have someone who looks up to you be crushed by you, man, because
Right.
you didn't live up to par. I'm Terrence Crawford. I'm a father. I have kids. How do I look my kids in the face and say that I'm a punk? I'm a bitch. How do I look my kids in the face and say that? That's sad, man. I'm
Especially
sorry.
especially
I
after
can't.
all,
That's sad.
especially after all the shit you was talking. Soon as it got to the point where there's nobody standing in the way between you and Spence, now out of a sudden, overnight, this dude had an issue with everything. Overnight, this dude had an issue with
Mhm.
everything. He wanted to make sure he get a big payday. He wanted to, like, bro, you've been taking 2 million a fight. Now,
Yep.
like, come on, man. Just say you don't want to fight, bro.
Yep. It's bad because Now you got to look at your kids in the face, and your kids are not stupid because we're in a social media era, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
kids have information that's sent to them through TikTok. Now your kids got to go to school. They in wrestling, right? And they got to hear other kids clown your father and say your father's a bitch. That's
Right.
what's gonna happen.
Exactly, man.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna call your father a bitch for not taking the fight. Every man in life has to have a fear factor moment. Every man in life is gonna face a moment where their fear levels are going to be checked at the highest levels. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter if you win, lose, or draw. What matters is you were able to stand up in the moment of fear. That's what fucking matters.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Terrence Crawford's moment of fear. This is his test your temperature moment. And what he showed not only to Omaha Nebraskans, what he showed not only to the world, what he showed not only to everyone is he's a bitch. His whole card got pulled and he is a fucking hoe. That he has a vagina stuck right in between his legs. That's exactly what he revealed.
And the thing about it is, and this how you know it's some bullshit on the LDBC side because they they wasn't they wasn't trying to give well they did well I can't say that I can't use the LDBC. This how you know it's some bullshit with the majority of black boxing fans. Motherfucker was on Canelo neck for ducking.
Yep.
But now you got Crawford doing the same thing. Nobody saying nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody saying nothing about it. Bud Crawford made a mockery out of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Bud Crawford made a mockery out of boxing, man. A mockery. Everybody, everybody should be talking about this. Everybody should be talking about this.
He's a fucking duck. However you want to, if it sounds like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it is a fucking duck. He's a duck, man.
Point
If
blank period.
you can't be a father looking your son in the eye after you've ducked and then try to then scold him or you try to discipline him because your son's not going to respect you, man. Bud has multiple sons that are actually in combat sports. They're in my favorite combat sport, wrestling. How do you look at them in their eyes and tell those wrestling champions, this is how you fight, this is how you this is how you that? They're not going to
Right,
respect you because they're going to say, man, you duck Earl Spence. Fuck, I'm going to listen to you. One of his sons are going to vote against him. And he
right.
gonna try to find a way to discipline me, man. I ain't gonna listen to shit you gotta say. You duck Earl Spence. You got people in school laughing at me because you ducked.
Yep. It's as simple as that, man. It's as simple as that. Because the problem is with a lot of boxing fans is y'all don't keep the same energy with everybody. Y'all y'all let people y'all like get passes.
Facts.
Y'all like people that y'all like get passes. Whereas if you real, you hold people to the standard. Just like I got on Canelo for ducking, just like I got on Tony Harrison was trying to duck Jamel Charlo after he had won that title. He was trying to delay that fight as long as possible. No man, if I got on them, then I gotta get on this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Cause if I like you and I have nothing to do with the integrity you lack. You know what I'm saying? Like hell no, man, hell no. And then people see if this was somebody from the PBC, man, it'll be everywhere. ESPN will be talking about this duck.
Yep.
It'll be everywhere, man. Cause there's
Yep.
already trying to say Errol Spence was Bass Calloway got on TV like a couple of weeks ago. Trying to say it was Errol Spence that was ducking.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck you know? You ain't seen no contract. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yep. Ox is right. It's not about money, it's about principle and integrity. Only a beta cares about monetary value. A true man stands on principle. Financials are separate from principles.
What?
But fans think that it's okay because it's about all about the money. No, this is about principle. First and foremost, it was never about the money. If you even gonna go the money route with Bud, as a Bud man fan, is Bud has never really commanded money or made money like that. So you can't even use that argument. I could understand if Bud was commanding money or he was making money,
What?
huge money or big money in fights. He's not even doing that. As a matter of fact, it should also be about the money for this guy because this guy has not made money. But the
No.
principle, it's all about the principle, man. Nobody in my life can tell me as a man that I've been a bitch in any moment.
Right.
You can't tell me that shit. You cannot.
And that's the
And
thing.
every time I've been in those moments, I've stood up to the charge, man, and I've delivered. Win, lose, or draw, I've delivered. And I've looked back and said, you know what? I could hold my head fucking high because in that moment, I didn't bitch up. I remember I was in the army and it was, you know how it is in the military where you got barracks versus barracks.
Yeah.
It was our squad versus another squad. All these niggas was talking up good. They was talking shit or whatever. They were like, yeah, man, we about to go fuck these boys up or whatever. They left me by myself. I had 12 niggas on top of me, kicking me. I mean, motherfuckers was hitting me in the ribs, all kinds of shit. But I stood there like a G and took the shit.
Right.
I took some of them down with me too. But I got beat up. That was probably the only time I got my ass whooped. I mean, shit, you get 12, 13 motherfuckers on you, gonna get whooped.
Right.
But I took my whooping like a man. And even the dudes was like, yo, the dudes over here are bitches, man. You was out here, you was ready to go. Because that's me, man. When it comes to moments like that, I don't bitch up.
First of all, this is going to show you, Bud fans are dumber than him. Bud ain't finna get paid. No, nobody in their right mind go pay Bud $10 million to fight the dude he's finna fight.
Exactly.
Bud gonna get a percentage of that 10 million. That 10 million, that the whole fight, the whole venue, everything is 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $10 million fight.
Yep.
That's how that is. So whatever they split is, they gonna split that.
Yep.
That's at the end of the day. That's you know what I mean. It's not like this. I see you ducking an arrow. You know I wouldn't like it, but you duck Errol Spence fight for a $100 million fight
Mm-hmm.
with Canelo or something. I'll be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like you holding up undisputed, but all right, I get it, nigga. You about to get what? Out that 100, you about to get 30 million.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, cool. When you done, bring your ass over here so you get your for Errol Spence to get on your ass. You know,
Yeah.
so I get that, but he finna do what? At that 10 million, I don't even know, dude. So he might be getting 7 million.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't shit compared to the money he was gonna make fighting Aerosmith.
Nowhere near that shit.
Ain't shit. He's gonna get at least 17 million fighting Aerosmith.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, actually. You said, oh man, not the barracks. Yeah, them dudes left me, man. But I took it on the chin, man. And I ended up becoming cool with those dudes. And then here's the funny thing about it: those dudes respect me so much that we ended up getting the other cats that ran away. We found them and we got on them. Because at the end of the day, it's about principle, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you say you're gonna do something, you do it. Now, I'm not sitting here to tell y'all to advocate for violence or anything like that. I'm talking about as a man, when you say you are a man, you got to be a man in every way that you comport yourself. Whether if it's you in an adverse situation, whether if you in a positive situation, you got to comport yourself that way. If you don't, then now you're questionable
Mm-hmm.
on every fucking level. So this right here is an integrity thing. This right here is a principle thing. This right here is a is Bud a man or is he a bitch? And what he just revealed is he's a bitch. And nobody
Mhm.
can convince me otherwise. That's exactly what he revealed.
He found this
Basically,
dude.
Spence snuffed out his bitch card and revealed him as a bitch. I mean, damn, that that's the
This,
worst place to be in as a man.
man, my bad. This dude, this dude had the nerves to call Errol Spencer all these years, fight after fight after fight, using Errol Spencer's name. Errol Spence needed to hit him with with cease and desist letter.
Yep.
Some people, that's the only way they're gonna fucking learn. That's what you need to hit him with. And cease
Yep.
and desist. Don't use my name unless we finna fight, man. But here's another thing. Now, Bud do this shit all the time. Bud fighted nobody, and now it's left up to Spence to fight somebody that wasn't ready. No, man. Spencer already fought everybody for their belts. Bud need to fight Keith. He need to fight one of these guys. Virgil Ortiz, Keith Thurman. He need to fight one of them. If not, you know what I'm saying? Like Spence can't keep fighting all the heavy hitters. He just can't keep doing it. At some point, Bud has to take a chance. If you're not gonna fight Spence, how do boxing allow you to not fight Spence, but then fight somebody who nobody know? How do they allow that?
Exactly. I'm disappointed, man. I'm disappointed on so many levels because Ox talked about guys like Spill Dog and all of these other people that um are fighting for their lives. True boxing fans that wanted to see a super fight of the ages. We didn't get Wilder versus Joshua. They fucked up with that. So now we're gonna
Right.
fuck up again because UFC is on boxing's neck right now. And this fight right here would have given separation. It would have given cushion. It would have given boxing that leverage it needed. And then for this to go get fucked up because people have vested interest because of the fact that they don't want to put themselves in a position to where you know what they care about a guy so much they don't want him to lose. That's
Mm-hmm.
not even boxing, man. The sport of boxing is about basically going in there and squabbling it out. Combat sports is about two people getting it there and duking it out.
Right.
And for fans to sit there, watch it, and for fans to sit there and say, you know what? We got to eat this shit up.
Exactly, bro. Exactly, man.
It's crazy, man. And I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick and fucking tired of being sick and tired of boxing getting this shit wrong once again, and to get it wrong with the biggest fight that we've had in the sport since Mayweather versus Pacquiao. This is why I'm telling you guys, um, as fight fans, y'all need to do the right thing and y'all need to sign the damn petition, man. As fight fans, y'all need to put yourselves in a position to where you guys make your voices heard. Because this is appalling, man. This is ridiculous. And I'm done, man. I'm tired of the bullshit. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of the bullshit, man. I'm tired of watching us as boxing fans be duped around and basically not given the fights that we want because of people's personal interests, because of people's vested interests, because people have a personal stake in what they want to do. I don't care about people's personal stake, but don't compromise the sport. Don't compromise the integrity of the sport. I don't care about people making a dollar. I don't care about people. growing from a business standpoint, that's not my place to care about none of that crap. You want to do that, do you, man? I will even support you. But when you want to get in the way of what we're all sitting here and celebrating and we're all fans of, all because you want a vested interest, now I have a serious problem with that. I have a fundamental problem with that. And you guys should have a serious and a fundamental problem with that as well, too. And if you don't, then you never was a true boxing fan in the first place. Let's just call a spade here. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck, and let's keep it 1,000. Ox man, what you got to say about this? What's up with you, bro? Ox, you there?
Oh man, my bad. I was on mute. Man, how y'all doing?
You good?
I'm good, man. How y'all feeling?
Oh man, I'm chilling, man. I'm just venting because I just can't believe the travesty of what I've seen, and for it to be the biggest fight in boxing. You got one guy that's game in Earl Spence to fight, and you got another guy that just revealed what we all knew he was, but damn, to reveal it on this scale, I'm not even honestly. You know how we like to take credit for something. I don't even want to take credit for this because this hurts the sport. Like this is something I'm actually even more disappointed about and I'm saddened about than anything else. I'm actually pissed the fuck off more than anything.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. For multiple reasons. Like I said, man, what's up to y'all? Salute to Ross also.
And I just can't believe that this is the reality. This is what we've gotten ourselves into. That the sport of boxing has become a place where the best does not fight the best. How many times are we gonna mess this shit up?
Right. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Nah, I can't hear you, Ox. How many times we gonna mess this? How many times we gonna mess up the idea of we can't have the best fight in the sport? I'm tired of this, man. I am sick and tired of this. And this is why I did the petition. This is why I took the charge, the leading charge, and said, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm taking the petition. And I'm getting y'all to sign it. Right now, we have 24 signatures. We need 76 more. Make sure y'all sign the fucking petition, man. Because once we get to 100 signatures, then it gets to go to the boxing commission, and then they have to review it and get back with me. What's up, Ox? Talk to them.
You all a little messed up. How y'all doing?
Oh, you good, man. You know how it
Good.
is, man. We
For
gonna keep
sure.
it moving. We gonna keep it moving until you get situated. So what's good with you, bro?
Hey man, just getting it going, man. What up with you, Ross, man? Salute, salute. But yeah, man, first of all, man, why they pack you out like that, man? The barracks, man.
Man, I had a whole bunch of suckers that they was talking a good game, and then when it came time for it, nobody showed up. I was the only one, and I saw that shit. I looked behind me. Well, I didn't even realize it because I thought they were behind me, but the dudes was like, "Yo, you by yourself." And then I looked behind me. I was like, "Okay, here we go." I'm just gonna have to deal with it. You get that stupid look on your face, but hey, you can't fold. You can never fold at that moment. So I like, fuck it. I'm just gonna have to take it. Fuck it.
Man, you wild, dog. And the reason I'm only laughing because it's like, man, I've been in a many a barracks war my damn self. So, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, I ain't
Mm-hmm.
heard one of them stories in a long time. But,
Mm-hmm.
I'm utterly disappointed in Crawford. Um, I may not be I'm a Crawford fan to an extent. I favor Earl Spence. Like, I'm a fan of numerous, well-to-do athletes, and I'm disappointed in him robbing us of the opportunity of being able to see who's great, how great he is, how great Earl Spence is. He robbed us of that, and he robbed anyone who was going to be a part of the promotion, the undercard, other fighters that may be on the outlier of who may have won. Who may have been awarded a fight based upon who won on the undercard. So the ripple effect ramifications of his actions are very, very disappointing. Like I said, I'm disappointed on numerous levels. Like, just calling him a duck, just referring to him as a duck is just one of the, I guess, character flaws I could, point out about it. But it's just like, he's failed us. He's failed us. He's defrauded us. Not defrauded, but he deceived us. I feel like he conned us or whatever. And it's like, not you got to kind of reference whatever you can to understand the situation. But like in the streets, there's many people like him, where they play two ends against the middle. And I believe, that's what he did. He played two ends against the middle. He had some very underhanded business tactics. Like he doesn't have good business ethics. And like, I believe it's not just about feeding your family. You got to have a code of ethics. You have to have a code. They said, I forget what movie it was or what song it was, but every man got to have a code. I guess Omar used to say that on The Wire. Every man got to have a code, and I believe in that. And it's like there's times when you have to yield, but one of the greatest attributes of being a man is accountability. Being accountable. We're accountable for our family. We're accountable for protecting our property and our loved ones and stuff like that. We're accountable, to earn and provide and stuff like that. Like accountability. And it's like with him, he has like an obligation to his family, but in this sport, you have an obligation to your fans also, like lateral to your family. You've been taking care of your family anyway. This is not about money. This is about legacy. Like you're in sports entertainment. You're paid to perform. And this is what the fans want. The fans are not asking for this, guy that he's getting ready to fight.
Exactly.
The fans are not asking for that. The fans were asking for Errol Spence. And if you're not going to give us Errol Spence, you can give us Boots Ennis. You can give us Keith Thurman. You can give us Virgil Ortiz. But nothing less than Keith Thurman. Nothing less than Keith Thurman. And it's like, it's not just about the check. It's about the principle, the integrity, it's about the legacy. And I believe, Crawford is so underhanded. Like, and the culture of boxing is so toxic. When you got these older fighters whose savings and pension and shit like that have like dried up, but they're in position to like get you into the Hall of Fame. If you could put together some money to grease those palms to buy your way into the Hall of Fame, I could see Crawford doing something like that. And this is just my speculation, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I understand how calculated a snake ass person could be. I know the bounds. I know that a snake ass person doesn't have any limitations or bounds on what they'll do. Like I know how a serpent moves. You know what I'm saying? I know how to exterminate and dispatch a serpent, but you got to understand how a serpent moves. And I believe he's very serpentine in the way that he's been acting. And it's like, how or why else would he be so sure that he's going to go into the Hall of Fame other than buying his way in there? Because what has he done? Logically, what would make him a Hall of Famer? A Hall of Famer? Okay, you cleared out a division or whatever the case is. You had a little decent run or whatever, but a Hall of Famer?
Great point.
Your most historical fight is against Gamboa? Like, what? What? You know what I'm saying? In the bigger scheme of things, it's just like people like Bud Crawford because he fight like he fighting on the corner. Like he'll whoop a person like how you'll whoop a person on the corner on the block or something like that in the hood. He make it look good, and so that triggers a response in a lot of people to where culturally, like that's what they're entertained by. Like they like boxing, but they attach that hood shoe shine instinct into it. And like some people like brawlers, some people like come forward Mexican style fighters, some people like European traditional style boxers, some people like southpaw, some people like orthodox. So everybody kind of got their own little thing that they like.
Great
what I'm saying? And so he triggers a response in people who like his style and who are also complicit in his frame of thinking and his frame of business posturing. Well, so what, man? I gotta feed my family at the end of the day. At the end of the day, man, it's about feeding my family. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He go, what would you do? You mean to tell me you would turn down 10 million? Like that's that underhand shit. But those are the cats that don't have no integrity. Those are the
Mhm.
cats that don't stand on any kind of principles. They don't stand on a square. You
And
know what
that
I'm saying?
and that would have made sense and held water
Right,
if he didn't call out Spence all those years.
right.
Hey, he
He
called Spence out all those damn years.
he asked for this. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Crawford, no. You hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I'm
Yeah.
tracking, man. I'm locked in.
Crawford, no. He was about to do the Tootsie Roll, bro. Crawford, no, he was about to be doing the butterfly like Escape back in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
He was about to do the butterfly like Usher did back in 96, all the way to the flow, like how Genuine used to do. Remember how Genuine used to be able to go all the way down and, you know what I'm saying, hit that body roll if you're
Yeah.
like, no, you know what I'm saying, the pause.
Yep.
But hey, he knew he was about to do the cha-cha slide. He knew he was about to get them guts beat like a prom date. This motherfucker knew. This motherfucker knew he was about to do the stanky leg. He was about to do the lean with it, rock with it. He was about to do every dance from 1990, from 1989. He would, matter of fact, I'll pull it back to 84. I'm an 80s baby. You know what I'm saying? He was about to do everything from the 80s all the way through the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Pop locking, spinning, break dancing, butterfly. He was gonna hit that butterfly. Them knees was gonna buckle.
Yep.
He was gonna hit that Peter Pan, nigga. He was about to be skipping around that motherfucker like Peter Pan. Earl was gonna put that right hand and that left hand on top of that temple, and he knew it when he seen what happened. Man, he was hitting Ugas, man. You could tell Ugas was like, aye, aye.
I felt for Ugas, dog. Ugas, you could tell he was hurting, dog.
You know what they said? Coño. That mean damn. You know what I'm saying? Coño.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, aye, papa. He was putting pain on that man, dog. You heard what Michael Irvin was saying? Man, Michael Irvin said it best, man. He said, man, this man is out here breaking motherfuckers, man.
That's what he do.
Man, listen, man. Michael Irvin done went to plenty of rehab, man. He not tooting that powder no more. He was just excited about the performance he seen. Like I said, my son and I and a few of my friends, we was there. I was trying to get, some of the other, followers and stuff like that to join us, man, so we could have had, even better time. But the ones that did pull up, salute. But man, he was whooping the shit out there, man. It was like, man, it was kind of like watching a bull fight. But the bull actually got a hold of the matador and was goring his ass. It was the equivalent of going to a rodeo, but the bull catch up with your ass and he flipping and tossing motherfuckers. And I give Ugas, man, a lot of respect because he stood there.
Yeah.
And he took that. But he was hitting him so hard he couldn't even fall.
Yes.
He was hitting him so hard he couldn't fall. He was just like, man, God damn, the way his expression. Man, go back and look at Ugas' expression.
Yep.
And he wasn't even all the way tuned in. They said, man, well, Bud, he just trying to wait and he trying to lessen, Spencer's momentum. You know what I'm saying? He gonna make it like, bro, the B-side don't never act like this. Bud ain't want it, bro.
He is from the West Coast. With them terminologies, that's West Coast, man.
But you know what I'm saying? Bud ain't want it, man. And Ross, man, listen, man. Both of you guys, man. Ross been cooking Crawford motherfucking ass so tough. Tossing and flipping and sizzling this motherfucker, dog. Like, hey, Crawford knew he was about to hit that butterfly, man, like KC, bro. If I'm Jodeci, man. He already knew that. Them knees was gonna buckle, man. He been seeing the beatings, bro. You see what he did to Danny Garcia. See, people not talking about Danny Garcia and Ugas. They both beat Crawford in the amateurs.
Yep.
And Crawford don't want no parts of Danny Garcia or Ugas. Even he might try to get with him now because he love fighting Spence leftovers. If he pick anybody to fight now, it'll be Danny Garcia.
Yep, I agree
It'll
with
be
that.
it'll be Danny Garcia. Uh, you know, if Thurman fight Crawford the way he fought Pacquiao, after the fifth round,
Mm-hmm.
he'll beat Crawford. If Sean Porter can steal rounds from Crawford, anybody is up to challenge. Boost will stop Crawford right now.
Yep, I agree with that. I agree with that, man. I agree with everything you said. With me as a boxing fan, it's never been about being so gun ho about somebody that the person can't lose. If Spence lose, man, hey, Spence fucking lost. I just wanted to see the best fight the fucking best, man. And in boxing, we've been told for years that the best fighting the best is Spence versus Crawford. So why is this fight not happening and coming into fruition? Let's be honest, man. The UFC is on boxing's ass. They're not only on boxing's ass, they're on boxing's ass crack. And for boxing to sit there and not realize this and acknowledge this, and to have the opportune moment to put on a show, to put on a fight of epic proportions and magnitudes, and then to let it go to the wayside, all because Terrence Crawford wants to duck, man, you ain't got time for that shit. This is why if I'm Spence, I'm suing Terrence Crawford. I'm suing him for defamation of character, using my namesake, using my brand, all of these years just to promote his name. Because let's be honest, nobody was checking for Terrence Crawford until Terrence Crawford showed up at 147. And who was the first person he called out? 147? He's been doing this for years. It's Earl Spence. This is pathetic, man. And as fight fans, y'all have a responsibility. And the responsibility that y'all have is y'all gotta call this shit out, man. Y'all gotta stop playing these games and understand that this fight right here was for all of the marbles. This fight was gonna decide who was gonna be the guy that stood above the ranks and that stood amongst the ranks. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't care what anybody tell me. This was a duck. And if you are a fight fan and you love the sport of boxing, that's what you're gonna call it, man. And you're not even gonna hesitate to call that shit that. This is embarrassment. This is an indictment on Terrence Crawford. Because I don't have nothing against Terrence Crawford. And Ross is right. People do like his style because of the shoe shining style. They like his style because of the hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. People love that dog back and forth mentality type of fighting style. But he's ruined that. And that's why I was speaking earlier when I said guys like Shakur Stevenson, guys like Keyshawn Davis, you have to understand their psychology. They were picking you, they were rooting for you, and then you go and disappoint them. So now what you're going to see is Shakur Stevenson, don't, as telling people, don't be surprised if he goes and says, hey, Spence, man, I want to spar up under you. I can't be up under this guy, man. A guy like Shakur that wants to fight everybody. How can you respect that? Keyshawn Davis was cheerleading for Terrence Crawford. I know he has to feel like an idiot right now.
He gotta feed his family. He got all them kids. He gotta feed. Like, if you shut your reluctant ass up,
Mm-hmm.
reluctant, man, come on, man. Dude was bucking, man. He had a nervous energy ever since he walked up on Spence in the in the stadium.
Yep.
Fights are made between lawyers, managers, and promoters. Fights are not made walking up on people in arenas with a camera out with your homeboys with you. That's not how fights are made. If you
Exactly.
really wanted that fight, you know what I'm saying, you could have kept it all business if it was really about business for you. If it was really about money for you, y'all, listen, again, like I said in the other live, that fight with Ugas at the Cowboy Stadium, I never experienced nothing like that. And I've been to many fights over the years, over the last 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never experienced anything like that where someone in my generation, not somebody that's like older, like the big homie like Floyd, but somebody that's in my generation that's doing a thing as a young black businessman. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And like, I've been to everybody from, I like Haney's promotion. I really like how the Charlos put together a fight card also. Um, But I've been to all types of promotions, man, and Earl had it going on. The money is there to be made. It's Cowboy Stadium.
Yep.
Well, why would you leave that on the table? It's a legacy fight. It's such a good fight. People don't even care who win or lose. They just want to see the fight. So
Exactly.
so it's like you really can't lose. But that's how worried the dude was. He came out and he was saying he didn't want to fight in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
He must have had some. I did see a couple red shirts with them Nebraska hats. They was probably like, "No, bud, hey, don't come down here, man. It ain't gonna go your way, dog." Like
Mm-hmm.
they must have alerted him. You know what I'm saying? They shook that man, and then he said,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, well, I gotta make as much money as I can." That's a given, you fucking idiot. That's a given. You're gonna make more money. You're gonna make more money in this one fight than you've made cumulatively over your entire career.
Facts.
And then there's more back end money. When you become, if you're that confident in your abilities, you become the undisputed welterweight champion of the world since Floyd. You take over and now become the face of boxing. If you got your business set up like that, now you're the cash cow. It opens you up to different types of endorsements. You're doing appearances. You're doing walkthroughs. You get, So why do you care about what you're getting paid? How much up front if you know, okay, I'm about to beat this motherfucker and I'm looking at the bigger picture. He's just a speed bump in my journey. But Bud wasn't looking at it like that. Well, shit, if I'm gonna put my life on the line, I gotta get all I can get. Like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
you sounded scary, bro. What you worried about the money? All of a sudden, you an accountant now? You a CPA now?
Yep. All of
You
a
a C?
sudden, you talking about 35% net.
All of
Anybody
us.
that's an employee always gets paid net. Why you worried about net, man? That just is some duck shit, man.
Man, you sat down with a banker, man, at your credit union. They gave you a couple terms. Ask them about the net. At, all of a sudden, you an astute businessman. All of a sudden, you are a forensic financial advisor now. All of a sudden, you want to come on, bro.
Fuck up, man.
Come on, man. It'd be different if I'm a shareholder. I'm a shareholder. Like, say, if Bud had Terrence Bud Crawford promotions and
Mm-hmm.
and he's saying, okay, I'm gonna put my own money up to invest in the event, like how Floyd does, like how Devin Haney does, like how Man Down Promotions do. He don't have a seat at the table to request to make those types of requests. You the B side.
Yep.
Hey man, let's fight on this date. Let's fight in these ounce gloves at this weight. This how big the ring is gonna be. Okay. We're gonna make these accommodations, that accommodations. We're gonna have these vendors and sponsors who you want. It's pretty simple and straightforward. But you want to look into this is contextual. This come on, bro. But if you win the fight, you're gonna receive the fruits of the fight. Why are you worried about the upfront shit if you feel like you're not gonna win?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, it's posturing, the location, like I said, and then the rematch clause, let's not forget about that. I need at least three. We got to go at least two out of the three. I thought you said you could beat the man.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come
He's
on,
been
bro. You
showing
might.
no nervous energy ever since, man. He saw the way Ugas eyes look, man. This man was under the operating table for 40 plus hours. And then when he came out, man, you could see his eye was still pussing. I don't even know why they even wait. They took the picture too early. I would have waited until the swelling of the eye went down a little bit. But Ugas, that's I gotta give it to him. He a G, man. He don't care. He just wanted you to see that he was a warrior. But his eyes was pussing, man. If you look at that picture, you could see it, man. And I know Bud saw that, and Bud was like, okay, I don't want no parts of this motherfucker. This motherfucker is crushing people's bones in their body. And I don't want no parts of that. But see, here's the thing. If you're afraid of somebody, we would we don't respect anybody that pulls some sucker shit. But if you're gonna do the sucker shit and you want us to at least acknowledge the sucker shit that you did, come out off rip and admit it and say, look, man, I don't want to be in the ring with that dude. Like, I don't want to deal with it. We're gonna laugh at you. We're gonna laugh at you, but at least we know that's what it was.
It'd be like, man, I'll just playing. Just come out and just say, man, I'll just playing, dog. I'm sorry, dog.
Exactly. Because you know how it is. You've dealt with people like that. Ox, straight up, I've dealt with people like that. And
Recently.
we look down to them, but at the same time, at least we say to ourselves, you know, there's some level of respect there, because it's like, okay, at least the motherfucker acknowledge where he's at. He knows his limitations. It's one thing when you don't know your limitations and then you want to act like, you know, and posture and be deceiving about it. It's another thing when you do know your limitations and you just don't want no parts of nothing. Listen, man, if you feel that Earl Spence is gonna destroy you or dismantle you, then you shouldn't have even showed up at 147. You should have just stayed your ass at 140 and kind of waited until this guy camped completely out of 154. That's what you should have done, and not call him out. But the fact that you called him out, you put a bullseye on your back.
Yeah. A forever bullseye. Nobody gonna let this shit live down.
Mm-mm.
You know, nobody gonna let it live down. But you know, only the men who don't stand on principle and integrity and stand on their business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some people will do anything for $1. They don't care how underhanded it is. You know,
Exactly.
some people will push poison into their community. Some people sell crack to their own mama for $1. You know, or
Mm-hmm.
their own family member, whatever it may be. Like, you know, some people, like I said, you got people that will do anything for $1. So I don't put nothing past certain individuals. But I knew Bud. I said, you know, in many podcasts before, I said, you know, you're gonna start to see Bud maneuver in very bizarre ways. I use the key word bizarre.
You
You
did
know what I
say
mean?
that.
Like you know, somebody could go ahead and sample that X Files, the X Files theme song or whatever. Man, when I picture Bud, all I hear is X Files, bro.
Mm-hmm.
His you know his really name is X Files, Terrence X Files Crawford, because
Mm-hmm.
he motherfucker real strange, bro. Motherfucker hella strange. You know, he started talking different. It's like he was begging for the first. He said he was a boogeyman, and people was avoiding him,
Yep.
and then you just abandon the fight. You know. Well, he didn't owe people. I've been hearing this a lot on the blogs. He didn't owe Spence to tell him he had another. Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Because nobody has ever talked about Crawford as much as they've been talking about him recently until he called out Errol Spence.
Facts.
He's the one that got people interested in it because he tiptoed into 147. If you ask me, he
Yep.
tiptoed quietly into 147. But
Yep.
you got these people that they like seeing people get shoe shined and knocked out and stuff like that, or whatever the case is. But he never faced anybody formidable. I can't give him any credit for I can't give him credit for anything on his resume. You know, especially not at 147. I like, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, the stuff is arguable. Like, you know, Gamboa came up for 126. You know, huge mismatch. Huge mismatch. That's like Broner going in there fighting Maidana. People, you know,
Mm-hmm.
clown Broner for that shit. They clown him for that, but it's like, you know, he was, you know, he was a 135 pounder,
Yep.
an undisciplined 135, 140 pounder that thought they could go up to 147 because, like I said, you know, Broner wasn't focused. Like, oh, I could fight 147. I can hang with them. He should have stayed at 140. Should have stayed at 140. You know, he was a whole different fighter at 140. You know, but um, you know, with Crawford, man, this is it's hellacious, man. It's sad what he's done. He screwed a lot of people over, and he ain't got me fooled. You know, like I said, it ain't about no payday. I don't care. This is not about a payday. This is about you asked for this smoke and you didn't want it.
So if you're a Terrence Crawford fan, what do you say to the Terrence Crawford fans that are genuinely Terrence Crawford fans that see that this has happened?
If you're a real Terrence Crawford fan, you should hold him accountable. If you don't hold him accountable, it tells me a lot about you as an individual. If you make any type of concession, any type of excuse for what he's done, if you try to justify his movements in any type of way, it's gonna make me look at you differently as a man.
Mm-hmm.
It make me think that you would do something strange for a piece of change, and that's exactly what Crawford has done. He has done something strange for a piece of change.
Mm-hmm.
Look how janky they saying the website is.
Hmm.
Yeah, I knew Blue Bud was on some bullshit when he took his hat off. I said, "This old face ass nigga, man. You got a 17-year-old kid haircut on your shit. Like, bro, I can't take you seriously, bro. You look like you about 50 in the face, man, with a 16-year-old haircut. If you don't get that dye off your motherfucking scalp, nigga, and step into your maturity as a man, you trying to have a pushback with the fade. Like, I don't care how
Ross need to
young
be
it is.
on. Ox need to be Ox. I'm gonna
Come
tell
on,
you,
man.
you and Ross, y'all need to be on some
Come on,
comedy
man.
central
Come
skit
on, man.
together, cause y'all be roasting people, man. I don't think
Come on,
nobody
man.
roast Ox. Nobody roast people like on a soliloquy better than Ox, man. This motherfucker's just roasting, man.
It's
Matter of
certain
fact,
niggas,
let me
man,
shut
you
the fuck
can't.
up so you can keep roasting.
You can't take certain niggas seriously, man, that be painting their scalp. And I'm a barber by trade, you know what I'm saying? I'm a
Mm-hmm.
barber by trade, but it's just like it's not wrong, man, but it's just like the dudes come off immature. He come off like a follower. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, man, who told you to get your hair cut like that, bro? You about 50 in the face, bro. I'm a barber, I'll tell you, like, bro, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that. Like, I ain't that
When
ain't
I'm on your side of town, man, I'm gonna need you to cut me up, though.
Oh man, he goes down, man. You already know what time it is. I got you, man. But it's just like I pick up on little things, and it's like being in the barber game. You notice a lot about people's personality and traits. You know what I'm saying? You pick up on their vibe or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's like, and I'm just saying, salute to
Yeah,
all my barbers
you
out
end up.
there.
I mean, your barber is technically like your. I said this before to somebody and they laughed at me, but your barber is like an extended soulmate, man, because they know you, they know your the inner outs of your hair, they know the grain of your hair. I mean, it takes a skill for someone to know, especially when you got a grain of hair that the average barber can't cut. But that barber knows how to cut your hair, and that barber knows the specific way that your hair is grained. I mean, that's an art, man.
Yeah, it is hard, bro. It really is hard. Uh, everybody can't do it. Ain't as easy as it seems.
Yep.
But you pick up on a lot of things, and I don't know Blue Blood as a man, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, but it's just like when I seen his appearance, I was like, this motherfucker on some bullshit. He on some bullshit. I can tell by the way your hair cut, you on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And he got to talking and come to find out he's an investor in BLK. So it's like this. So your stingy ass kept it all to yourself until now.
Uh-huh.
But you're not even a smart investor. He was like, well, I'm gonna put me a little bit of money into this, and then whenever Crawford give me the okay, because I'm a follower, so whenever he give me the green light, then I'm gonna tell the people about it, and we gonna promote it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get my money on it. Like, you an idiot, bro.
Exactly.
Like, Blue Blood should have been like, bro, you about to do what?
Yep.
Nah, bro. Okay, I'm cool. Hey, Crawford said he about to do whoopty 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 whoop. He don't even want to fight. So he would have got more attention and money off that,
Yep.
off the fact that hey, he about to duck you. He about to go over here and fight him. Hey, fuck this nigga. He should have went ahead and put it out like that.
All of this stemmed from the fact that Leonard Ellaby checked him, man. Because Leonard Ellaby was looking at fight hype and was, you know how when a nigga look at you and they look at you, but they don't look at you, it's like you ain't there. And that's
Bro,
what he did to him. He treated him like he wasn't even fucking there.
where Ross at?
Ross said he had to go to sleep. And then
Oh,
that nigga, they sound like he was snoring. So I was like, go ahead and go, man. When nigga
hey,
get to snoring, dog, you gotta let them sleep.
yeah, let him do his thing, man. I just had a situation like that, man, where
Mhm.
I ran into an individual who has been convicted of some very erroneous things, but he couldn't make eye contact with me.
Yep.
He couldn't give me a firm handshake. but he's supposed to be like the triple OG of a certain hood.
Hmm.
But I known this dude, I ain't seen the dude since we were 14, you know, um, but he couldn't look me in the eye, he couldn't shake my hand. And the people around him were taken back, like, damn, don't nobody act like this with him. Like, who is it? You know what I'm saying? But it's just like people ain't always what they like to make people think they are. You
Hmm.
know, the psychology of people, man. I've been studying Crawford's psychology, for a while. And like people be like, man, Ox be up here tripping with you with this motherfucker up here faded, whatever. I like to tap in with you guys. I like to have a good time. You know, I really do come from a angle of just trying to have a good dialogue with my brothers or whatever the case is and mix
Yeah,
in a little
Ox is a dude that you definitely like. It's not like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's like the one of those cookouts where you chill with him. You have some beers, you have something on the grill, and then you just chill out, man, for hours, man, and just talk
humor.
and
Yeah,
just chop it up, man. And if you happen to have some thickums around you while you're doing it, perfect. That just makes all for the ambiance of it.
all of that, man. But the dude, the guy's posturing, man, been suspect since day one. You know, and I told y'all, I used Bob Abrams' voice, and I told y'all, Bud, you can't beat this nigga. I don't know what you're thinking. Just stick to the script, and you'll be fine. That's what Abrams told him, bro, just like that. Just like that. He told it to him just like that. Bud, you ain't got it. Why you want to mess up a good thing? Stick to the script. They need to have they need to have Al Pacino play Bob Abrams, man, and
Yeah,
have
he
Chris
would do. He would do a great. He would do a great Bob Arum. And they need to have.
have
They
Chris
need. You know
Rock
who they
have
need to
Chris
have
Rock
play Terrence Crawford?
Chris
Because I
Rock,
think
man.
he. I was thinking Chris Rock, but I'm gonna tell you who I think would be better because he would clown Terrence Crawford because I like his little clowning jokes in between his jokes. Kevin Hart.
Okay.
Because Kevin Hart would make fun of the fact that Terrence Crawford is ducked Earl Spence.
Oh yeah.
Like he would actually just take the time out and make. Because one thing I like about Kevin Hart, he's not the funniest, but he knows how to make fun of himself, and he's really good at that. Because I was watching that Super Pets movie. Man, I've been having that movie on repeat. I just said, man, I can't believe Kevin Hart is this fucking funny. He had me rolling that whole superhero pet movie, man. Because his punchlines was off the chart, but it was the fact that he was making fun of himself and the way he was making fun of himself. So I
Yeah.
could see him making fun of Terrence Crawford. Like, yeah, I didn't want no smoke. Like he do with the real husbands of housewives. Like, yeah, I ain't want no parts of him. I could see him saying some shit like that.
Man, look. I remember I was a kid, man, and my
Hmm.
brother was at the park playing. I was at home. My brother was at the park playing, and he was playing, on a jungle gym, and he had slipped off, one of the top bars of the jungle gym, and he fell, and he fell on his back, and when he fell on his back, he hit the back of his head, and like when he hit the back of his head so hard, like it concussed him, and he urinated on himself. He had, he was knocked out, and so it was a kid that laughed at my brother. He laughed at my brother, and he told the kids in the school about it. And so my brother, he came home, he told me what happened. And so I went to this kid's house
Yeah.
and knocked on his door, and his mama came outside, and I told her, she was like, "What's up?" I told her what's happened. I said, "Can you tell your son to come outside?" And she went and got him.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if she thought that because I talked to her very politely and very calmly, so she thought that I was just gonna talk to him.
Uh-huh.
And I whooped this motherfucker in front of his mama in the front yard. And she let me fade him too. She let me fade him. And when I dropped him, he got up. She said, you better fight him. She was trying to motivate him to fight me. I ended up dropping him 3 times in his front yard, whooped him in front of his mama inside his yard, inside his gate. And so I didn't call this dude out. You know, I didn't. I just it was some smoke and I wouldn't handle it. But and I said that to
Exactly.
say this: a lot of people have whooped somebody in their own backyard for whatever reason. Well,
Mm-hmm.
in the other person's backyard, on the other person's turf. A lot of people ain't never ain't cut like that, so they don't understand it. There's no reason why Crawford shouldn't have been in Dallas at the Cowboy Stadium after Ugas fight.
Mm-hmm.
That was an indicator that there was trouble in the water. You arguing about a purse split. You're arguing about location. You're arguing about rematch clause. You're arguing about seeing the forensic details of the promotion, and you don't even got enough decency, enough class to help promote the event in the form of making some appearances where this man is going to be at his fight.
Mm-hmm.
Why you didn't come down into the ring? So I never felt like it was going to happen. I felt like, you know, hey, they're going to pay him whatever they're going to pay him. I just want to see it. But I did strongly feel like he didn't deserve no 50%. You know,
Exactly.
I believe he deserved to be paid, but I did never believe that he deserved 50%. So outside of the 50% thing, I've been on board with it this whole time. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, the red flags were there. I tried
Yeah.
to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he showed me as a fight fan that I can't trust him.
Nah, you can't trust him for shit.
Can't trust
And
him.
and
You're
what he
not going to
also
get your money's
showed,
worth
what he
for it.
also showed, Ox, is somebody like that. You better off. You better off never going off of what they say, never going off their word, because you know their word don't mean nothing. Like Terrence Crawford, the only way that he could show respect in the situation, the only way that he could redeem himself is he's gonna now have to put himself in a position where he has to sign a contract and show that the contract is verified and signed to Earl Spence for Earl Spence to even believe him. That's the only way he could redeem himself from the situation. He's still gonna lose a degree of respect for pulling the duck, but that's the only way he could redeem himself from the situation. Because he's gonna get flacked. He's gonna get flack from the boxing community for this shit that he pulled. You best believe that shit.
Straight up, like I said, you know, when somebody show you this, I mean, you can't really put much past him. Don't be surprised if he buy his way into the Hall of Fame. Because who else would justify him being a Hall of Famer? Like, what has he done besides work on Gamboa?
Yep. Yep.
He only had one belt at 147. He didn't
Yep.
fight none of the tough people in their prime. You know, so I don't know who would justify it. You know, but I know some people that may justify it and try to go along with it. He could give, you know, give Roy Jones $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Give this fighter and that fighter 50,000, 100,000. Hey, here you go. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. I just need you to vote for me.
Yep.
50,000 for, you know, to check the box. Come on.
Exactly.
Nothing less than 50,000 to just check the box. Come on now.
Yep.
How else can you justify him being in there?
Exactly.
Legitimately being in the Hall of Fame?
Yep.
What has he done? And the thing about it is, if you really look at it as a Hall of Famer, I expect for them to have a little bit more arrogance because
Mm-hmm.
it's an elite class of accomplishment. And Crawford hasn't accomplished what they accomplished. Crawford hasn't taken the road that they've taken.
Exactly.
Hey man, before my career, when my career is over or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take care of you this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, why else do you think these people? And this is my speculation, but I'm just like, what would make these people be on board with him being in the Hall of Fame?
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man. Like, come on. See, I would say Sean Porter got a better resume than Crawford at this point.
Exactly.
Is he a guarantee for the Hall of Fame?
Hmm.
You know, is he a guarantee? You know, he got
Hmm.
some losses, so you know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But like I said, we got to just see what happens. But like I said, I just feel like we about to really start seeing a lot of funny, slippery type shit going on. In boxing. Like they've been letting Fury get away with some stuff,
Yep.
Canelo, and right now they're allowing Bud to get away with it. But
Yep.
uh, Arrow probably don't care enough to sue him. But I feel like it's definitely a stance on a defamation of character fight, a lawsuit. Like I feel like the only way to probably get him to actually fight is to sue him for so much money. He would have to fight you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
maybe
and
that
and
might
this
be a
is
strategy.
I mean, just off the strength of and you got dummies asking, are you gonna boycott EJ versus Stanios? This is how you could tell these motherfuckers are Bud Man fans. Because why would we boycott Spence? Spence wasn't even trying to fight Stanios a fucking mandatory. He was trying to fight Bud. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'd rather see Earl fight Fundora,
Yeah. I mean, I would
over
rather see him fight the harder opposition too.
or
In this equation. I would rather
yeah,
see that too.
yeah, somebody good at 154 or whatever. I just hate the implications of it. People are so simple minded. I think a lot of us who are more broad minded, more mature minded, I believe we understand that, he Earl has not left too many options, and he's done enough at 147. And to us, he has nothing else to prove. We just wanted to see him perform in this one last, title defense and become undisputed. I feel like the true Earl Spence supporters, we deserved to witness his 147 campaign. And,
Mm-hmm.
and and like I said from the beginning, I'm disappointed because Crawford robbed us of that opportunity. But it doesn't, however Earl moved from here, it doesn't diminish anything in my eyes because look at all of what he's done.
Yeah. And
Look
then
at all
and
of
it's
what.
not his fault that he can't have the fight because he's done
Right.
everything in his power to make the fight happen. It's because the fight didn't happen because at the end of the day, this motherfucker ducked.
I'm gonna tell you who Earl Spencer fight, man. Just to say, fuck it. He should
Boot.
go on. No, he should go on and fight Devin Alexander, man. You know what I'm saying? If Crawford gonna fight,
You mean Devin Alexander get his ass out of retirement?
he might. This motherfucker might as well fight. Uh,
That's funny, man.
he might as well fight Ortiz, man, and what Floyd knocked out. He might as well go fight Robert Guerrero. You know what I'm saying? Like, come
What I
on,
want to
man.
see is Earl. I want to see Earl fight on the same fight date. That's the best way to stick it to him.
Right, right. I'll just say, I know Earl, he gonna keep it a buck, but I'm just saying, like, if we just pulling opponents out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He should go pull out somebody ridiculous, man. Like he
I don't
should.
see why he can't. I don't see. It's not like December 10 is held for hostage, and it's Terrence Crawford of all people. He should fight exactly on December 10 and fight around the same time. Let Crawford figure out what all his logistics and everything's gonna be and fight around the same time. And
You
then
need,
leave it to people to say who are they gonna pick to watch fight. I guarantee you ain't nobody gonna watch Crawford's fight.
I would say, hey, listen, I believe if anybody, if anybody deserves that next payday, I believe Boots should get a shot. But go on ahead and fight Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and fight Thurman. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Boots has more to prove or whatever. And I feel like, man, like I said, Earl has always already given us, you know, the Kell Brook, the Mikey Garcia, you know, he's given us the Ugas, he's given us the Danny Garcia, he's given us the Sean
Mm-hmm.
Porter. Let Boots and Crawford square off.
Yep.
Somebody prominent needs the opportunity to go for that belt. Like, Earl, he didn't have to give Mikey Garcia a shot. He didn't have to give Ugas a shot. He gave several people who really truly earned it a shot. But
Mm-hmm.
we have Crawford over here, he's fighting people that ain't even on it ain't even in the top 10, not even on on the radar. And I feel like there's people that he needs to reach back and give somebody that's up and coming that opportunity, and he needs to prove his dominance at 147 because
Mm-hmm.
this fight that he has scheduled, it's not proving anything. We already know who's gonna win. We already know who's gonna win, but it's like I said, I'm so disgusted in it. I'm not gonna pay for it, but I'm gonna put a little money on the fight. I'm put a little money
And
on the fight.
Terrence Crawford put himself in a position where he can't lose this fight. He has to actually he has to actually look impressive. If he gets hurt or he gets wobbled in this fight or he gets embarrassed in this fight in any way, it's gonna be a bad look. Period.
Right. I hope he come. I hope the guy, David Sanya, whatever his name. I hope he come back in the late rounds and stop Crawford the way he did Josh Kelly. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was watching that fight, man, and like he was a punching bag. I can see how Crawford may be able to stop him within 3 to 5 rounds easy. But if Crawford don't stop him early, if this guy catch Crawford the right way late, it could be bad news for Crawford. But I expect for Crawford to beat him. But it's just like the odds of if this guy pull off a hat trick and put one on if he picked the wrong cherry, people can make a lot of money.
Yep.
So five
Yeah,
dollars can
you're
make
right.
you
You're
five
right.
dollars more than quadruple your money if you put something down. But it's just like he needs some he needs some retribution. I don't know who's gonna be able to give it to him, but it's like, man, they need to strip him or order him to fight somebody. It's just like with Boost, what I don't understand is I just seen the updated news of him like petitioning to fight Earl. And I respect it because Earl got all the hardware, Earl got all the belts. What I'm saying? Earl currently doesn't have an opponent anymore. So I understand the logic behind it. But
Mm-hmm.
somebody needs to get on Bud. Somebody need to put an early petition in on Bud. Okay, after this fight in December, I'm your next mandatory. Who's
Right.
gonna be his mandatory after this fight? That's what I'm more focused on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Spence got screwed over. Spence should be able to pick and choose whoever he want to fight. It should be Crawford who gets forced to fight someone. But if he do fight Boots, I hope Earl whoop the socks off this motherfucker. I hope
Yeah,
Earl. I
Earl
hope.
don't fight tune-ups, but in this situation, you're right. It's a last minute situation where he got screwed over. Honestly, when someone has that kind of makeup mentally, I don't even know if they want to give the person a chance. I don't even know if Spence want to give Bud a chance, period, for pulling this sucker shit that he pulled, man. And nobody should be surprised if Spence don't want to deal with him because you did all of these months of negotiating with someone, and then they pull something up under scheme, just to show you, hey, this is what I can do. But it doesn't help because what you're
Right.
doing is not furthering the sport. What you're doing is you're just basically showing that one, you're afraid of the guy. Two, you don't really care about the best fighting the best, and everything that you were saying was all talk because you're the one that called the guy out. You're the one that said that you wanted to fight. When you do all of these things now, when the time comes, you have to deliver. Don't matter if you're afraid, don't matter if you having second guess, second thoughts or whatever. You talked your way into the situation. Now you got to fight your way out of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Bud. He like I said, man. He knew he was gonna hit that tootsie roll, man. You know, he was gonna hit that butterfly, man, all the
Yeah.
way down to the canvas, dog.
Yep, you right about that.
You already know. You already know. Straight hole for that.
Mm-hmm.
Straight hole for that. We'll see what happens, man. I guess we got to kind of move forward from this and look out on the horizon to see what's going on. Like I said, I was definitely looking forward to it. I put off other plans and other trips in my personal life, man, just to kind of plan around this thing. Um, so
Yeah, I
we're
think everybody was looking forward to this fight, man, because
yeah,
this fight was gonna be something that was gonna decide what the landscape was gonna look like, boxing wise, man. It was gonna be something beautiful for people to sit back, enjoy, and gravitate towards. But You don't get this opportunity because of the fact that someone wanted to be selfish, man, in the way that they move.
Yeah, like late July, August, I started making plans for November. Shit, I was gonna, not go see family for Thanksgiving, man, just to make sure I could hit this fight in November. I'm like, man, so it is what it is. But like I said, he screwed over a lot of people, man. I feel like, man, Earl should use this momentum and whoop the shit out of Boots, man. Take that shit out on Boots' ass. So Boots want to jump into the big boy Boots already. Go and whoop his ass and really show these people, man, that you really that dog, man. Like, I think that's what people really want. I think that's the biggest statement that Earl could make.
Basically, give them the next best fight.
Yeah, the next best, biggest fight, you know, is gonna make Crawford look like shit. Whatever type of slimy backdoor bullshit that he's trying to do is gonna catch up with him. It's just a matter of time. You know, uh, I think shit. I'll go out and throw this out there since we just putting fights together. Shit,
Mm.
man. Shit. Put Tank in there with Crawford motherfucking ass. Put Tank in there with his motherfucking ass.
Now
Let's
you
just
want to
see
see that one, huh?
fuck it. I mean, he fought Gamboa. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. Put him in there with him. You know what I'm saying? Let's see it. Let's see it. But um, I feel like Boots is the biggest. The Boots is the biggest. I could say, Thurman. It would be a great fight. It would be some decent build up. Um, Virgil Ortiz. He does have a Mexican community. They gonna show up, but Boots is the biggest. In that right now, and like that would really hush it. Like I for sure feel like Crawford will be stripped after that or vacate the belt.
Exactly.
Like, and we won't even have to hear about the shit no more from him. We
Yep.
motherfucker may go ahead and retire, or he'll just kind of go back, fade off into obscurity. Because I felt like he was asking for enough money to retire on. He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
asking for the type of money where he could live to fight another day. Like he had a 10-year plan.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he was trying to put it all on this fight. And
Yep.
that's a red flag to me. As a fan, that's a red flag. Like, you know, when you gonna have another fight after this, like you thought. I mean, you talking like you gonna beat him, like you supposed to be the boogeyman. Like, why are you trying to cash out on this fight so bad? Like, you got other fights lined up.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, it is what it is, man.
Man, you on the road right now. You on fire, and people needed to hear all of these things from you. Um, and they needed to understand that when it's all said and done, this right here. Now I know Ox say he gonna move on to bigger and better things, but I'm on Bud's ass, man, till December 10 and probably even a little after because this motherfucker done fucked around and not only showed his ass to the three of us, the three musketeers, who've been telling y'all from the jump that he would do this, but the way that he did it. See, it's one thing when you do a ducking, it's another way when you do it in a very tricky, underhanded way. It's the way that he did it that is not going to be easy for people to forget, and it's left a bad taste in people's mouths. There's only one way for Terrence Crawford to somewhat redeem himself because the damage is already done. But the only way for him to somewhat redeem himself is to say, look, I know I fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, Spence is that great of a fighter that I felt I needed a tune-up because that's exactly what it sounds like. Um, I wasn't ready, but I'm willing to sign right now. Send me a contract. I'm willing to sign right now on the dotted line for this fight to happen. This is the only way he's gonna get some level of redemption if there is such for him. Other than that, if he's not talking nothing like that, man, all his respect is flushed down the damn drain. And I don't have a problem. I want to make that clear. I don't have a problem with Terrence Crawford. I don't have a problem with him as an individual. He's a brother. So I don't have a problem with him.
Right.
It's just when it comes to boxing, we all pick a side. We pick who we think's gonna win. And yes, I'm heavy-handed, but I'm picking Spence to win. And look, the person that I'm picking to win is looking extra good right now because the person that everybody else picked to win outside of us and those who are true Spence fans realize that this motherfucker right here was not what he was cracked up to be, man.
Hey, what do you call them? You call them dodo birds and plum plum.
Dodo heads, man, and plum
Yeah.
plum brains and Rudy fucking poos, man.
All right.
That's
Them
exactly what
people,
he is, man. He's a Rudy poo.
Rudy Pools, Dodo Heads, and Plum Plum
Yeah.
Brains. So check this out. I want those particular people to key in on this. I'm really doing my best to try to crush this narrative. Okay. Well, what was he supposed? The narrative is, in regards to Bud, a narrative that they've been trying to spin. We've crushed several narratives on this episode tonight, but this is
Mm-hmm.
another one that's been floating out there. Uh, what was he supposed to do? He, Earl, they was taking too long.
Oh boy.
So let me crush this narrative. I said this, on the other live that he knows had the other night.
Mm-hmm.
You see a bum out there, or transient, or homeless, or person in need. Okay, you see a person in need out there, right? And you're like, hey man, uh, I got something for you, man. Come over here. And they say, well, you know, can you meet me halfway? Do you want the money or not? All right, I'm gonna come in about 35%. All right. Before we even get into percentages, your person in need, they need some money. You offer them some money. Okay, I'm gonna give you $5. No, I want $7. And you like, man, all right, I'm gonna give you $7. Before you can pull out the $7, the bum said, let me see the rest that's in your pocket. At the first time when the person in need give you any kind of friction, you have every right to walk away. Arrow could have walked away any time. He's the A side. He could have went ahead and said, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna fight Boots. All right, fuck it. I'm gonna fight this person. Okay, this nigga don't wanna, okay, I'm gonna go fight that person. Okay, he want a location. Okay, fuck that. No, we're gonna do it in my house. I'm gonna fight this person. Earl never wanted to look like he was ducking this guy. But every time, Earl would agree to something, Crawford would turn around and counter. The countering from Bud is what I'm trying to get people to understand. The countering that Bud has done throughout this negotiation is what has held everything up. Like Earl
Mm-hmm.
already said that, he was delaying the fight. You presented Bud terms, and Bud countered with, different demands that weren't, you know, demands that they felt like were valuable to the promotion. That they
Mm-hmm.
weren't lucrative to the promotion. It didn't make business sense to the promotion. They're the A side. They don't it's at their discretion if they want to oblige the B side of anything. That doesn't mean that the A side is ducking, but we call the shots. This is our shit. We're giving
Mm-hmm.
you an opportunity. We're giving you an opportunity to fight for undisputed. We don't owe you to let you fight for undisputed. So you're gonna do this shit on our terms. That's how this shit works. And if you win all the belts, whoever comes to fight you, you dictate all the terms.
Yep.
If you do win all the belts, you're not gonna let some even if you fight for your belt now. Did you let David Adesanya, whatever his name is, did you let him dictate the terms to you of him fighting you for that belt? No. You told him, hey, you're gonna fight me here, you're gonna make this amount of money, we're gonna fight on this date. He didn't
Facts.
say, well, let me look at the books, or I need a rematch clause, or I want to fight in my hometown, or other different. I don't want to fight in your hometown. I want to fight in Vegas. Bud would have said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, fuck you. I'm gonna go find somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna let a bum come up and ask you for no $5, and before you pull out the $5, he asks you, well, you know what? Let me see everything in your wallet. So let's crush this narrative. Like Earl held up the fight. What held up the fight was the counter offers.
Yep.
The counter, I want 50%. You're not getting 50%. You about to
Fact.
get you about to get 20%. Okay, well, can I have 25? Can I have 30? Okay, well, I want it to be fair. Can we fight in Vegas? Okay, well, can
Yep.
we have a 3 fight rematch clause just in case? Like he win one, I win one, and then the best 2 out of 3. Can we do a trilogy? Like what? Like,
The biggest
oh,
mistake,
come on.
the A side made in this situation, and it's a life lesson you learn, is never acquiesce to anyone else that's looking from the bottom looking up to you. You never acquiesce to them and say yes to everything that they ask for. Because when you just give them straight up the terms and you tell them this is what it is, take it or leave it, they know where they stick. And what's gonna happen now is from here on out, because of what Terrence Crawford did, he fucked up the situation for B-siders because B-siders, Terrence Crawford could have made B-siders become borderline A-siders in the sense that B-siders could basically be able to get as much as possible, even though they're getting the secondary plate. So he could have set that up for them, but he fucked that over. So now what you're gonna see in boxing, you're gonna see a heavy hand from A side to B side. A siders are not gonna take shit from B siders. They're gonna be very heavy handed with them because if I do all of these things to acquiesce to you in a negotiation and then you basically decide that you don't want to do it, man, fuck that. I'm not doing all of that. I'm not going all this route and I'm not gonna do all of these things just to appease you. That's not happening no more. That
Right.
shit is done with. And Terrence Crawford is to be the one to blame for that. He fucked that up big time.
Yeah, the sanctioning body, they're not gonna. The sanctioning body is in a peculiar spot because I mean they have a reputation and a legacy also, and so this is a negative. This is a tarnish, on their reputation as well. But the way that the way they look at it is like as long as our sanctioning fees are paid, we don't care. And so there has to be a line of integrity. Somebody have to hold folks accountable for their actions in the sport. And it ain't just Crawford, Canelo, and Tyson Fury, as well as Bud, should be held accountable for it.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody playing keep away with belts, they should be held accountable for that shit.
Exactly.
Straight up. Only other fight I feel like would be a big fight for Earl is a Manny Pacquiao fight. Only do because like he has a lot of fans. Pacquiao has a lot of fans. We already know what's gonna happen with Pacquiao, but hell, if that motherfucker want to go out on this shield, and that should make you even look worse.
Mm-hmm.
Pacquiao asking for that smoke, and his ass got
And his
nearly
ass
killed.
just and his ass can't his brain is damn near jarred from your Dennis Ugas. That just shows you the type of warrior that Manny Pacquiao is. Because we laugh at Manny Pacquiao, right? But I respect him. He's a warrior. And Manny Pacquiao never ducked Floyd. It's just Manny Pacquiao wanted a situation where he wanted to get as much money as possible, and that's fine. Everybody wants to get as much money as possible,
Now
but
he
you can
did
never
duck
say Manny
Floyd.
Pacquiao's a duck. Terrence Crawford is a straight up duck, man.
Yeah, no, I gotta disagree with you there. Manny definitely was a duck, and it wasn't about the money. It was about I believe it was about money and about the PED testing because that's what
Hmm.
really held everything up. Like he didn't want to he
Yeah,
didn't
you
want to be
right about
seen as
that. You right
he didn't
about
want to
that
be.
part.
It was about the testing. Like the money was
Hmm.
just like an afterthought. They were gonna get paid regardless, but he didn't want to be tested, and he avoided being tested for years.
Yeah, you
You
right
know what
about
I'm
that.
saying? Like he
You right
avoided
about
that.
that. He
And
did
people
duck
forget
when
about
in
that
that
shit.
moment.
Yeah, people try to glaze over that shit. Like that was really the biggest thing about all of that shit is the testing.
Hmm.
And then
But
people like, well, Floyd.
at least he came to terms eventually, and he decided, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna be on par with this guy. I have to accept these terms, and this fight right here just has to happen. And he fought. I'm sure in the depths of his mind, he realized he wasn't gonna win because they have people say boxing triangle theories don't work, but in certain instances, I do believe so because the Juan Manuel Marquez was like the gauging point. You have Floyd that took 2.5 years, came back and washed Marquez, and then Manny Pacquiao goes 4 fights with Marquez, and Marquez wears his ass out in all of these fights. So you could look at that fight and be like, okay, yeah, Mayweather's gonna watch this dude. Yeah, this is not gonna be as close as people think it was. And that's what happened in the fight. Mayweather was turning this motherfucker around. Other than the rounds 4, 7, and 11, where Pacquiao had his good flurries and got some shots in, and Mayweather Senior had to tell Mayweather, "Hey man, you know how they do, you know how they run these scoring cards, man. Don't be doing this shit because Manny Pacquiao, even though he ain't punching, they gonna try to make it seem like he winning rounds. After Senior told Floyd that, man, Floyd went the rest of the fight turning this motherfucker around the rest of the way, man. And you could tell Floyd did his thing. I had him winning the fight 9-3, and I ain't mad if people say 8-4, whatever. But he beat the guy definitively. It wasn't, like a hard fight for Floyd Mayweather.
He
But you knew
neutralized Manny Pacquiao,
exactly.
neutralized him completely. You got a lot of idiots that feel like Pitbull Cruz gave Tank a run for his money. Tank beat the man with one hand.
Yeah, he was turning that motherfucker around the whole time. One hand. Because
Like
that's really what boxing is, right? Hit and don't get hit. And
exactly.
you and I know hit don't get hit. It means turn the motherfucker around the whole fight. But when you think of boxing casuals, they tell you, well, that's not fighting, man. That's just running. Are you fucking kidding me?
I would like to see Devin Haney versus Pitbull.
Exactly.
I would like to see Devin Haney versus Pitbull to really
I don't think, and
engage.
I don't think Haney's turning that motherfucker around, especially with that damn head. I think Haney is getting his jab because Haney got a nice jab. But that's about it. After Haney throws his jab, there's nothing else Haney does that's like sharp because he'll throw punches that put him in position to where he could get countered. And we even saw that in the Cambosos fight. That's why I was glad when you and Rip B. Brazy was giving the breakdown because I trust you guys' assessment at the highest levels, and you guys was explaining it. I went back and saw the fight. I was like, oh shit, this is what Ox and Rip B. Brazy was talking about because Cambosos was landing counter shots on him as he was hanging on the ropes. And I'm like, a dude like this with these type of counter shots that Cambosos land on him, man, don't let Tank connect. Tank is damn near the one thing about Tank. Tank is an uppercut happy motherfucker. Tank is so uppercut happy. I think sometimes he's so disrespectful with the uppercuts because he just throw them. And sometimes I think he just throw dummy uppercuts just to see how he could time the uppercut and make it land flush. And in that fight with Cambosos, I saw that Devin Haney is a pedestrian when it comes to uppercuts. He is basically a victim waiting to happen with a nice uppercut landing on his damn chin. And I said, I just start putting two and two together. I'm like, but Tank is the master of uppercuts. So that's not going to end well for Devin Haney. Let Tank plant his foot and connect and put some power on that punch. Oh, that shit ain't going. It's not going to end well for Devin Haney. It's not going to end well.
Yeah, Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney and Pitbull Cruz. One of those three, two of those three got to get it on. And
Yep.
whoever win that faces Pitbull Cruz, they should be the one in line to fight Tank.
Yep.
They
Yep.
should be the one in line to fight Tank. I would like to see, Haney and Cruz or Shakur Stevenson and Pitbull Cruz. You know,
Mhm.
'cause,
And I think I'm glad you mentioned that because I think it's gonna lean towards Shakur Stevenson and Pitbull Cruz because I don't think Haney's gonna go in there with Shakur, man. I just feel like, and again, I'm not gonna sit here and be all like Shakur's the greatest and this and that, but Shakur's just slicker than Devin Haney, man. I feel like it'll be a wrong matchup for Devin Haney to fight Shakur because Shakur's just gonna box him, man. He's just that much quicker with his response. his timing, his distancing. You could tell his ring generalship, man. He controls the ring. That's what I like about Shakur Stevenson. He literally controls the ring. Devin Haney uses his jab well, and he got good fundamentals. But Devin Haney does not control the ring. He fights like he's surviving. And you can't have a fighter that's a survivor trying to fight a guy who controls. The guy who controls is going to be the one to win. He's going to dominate.
Well, shit, Bill, Bill better come up with something good, or Haney gonna lose a lot of attention. Also, he better come up with a good opponent. It better not be no bullshit ass, random
You
ass
know the route
dude.
they're gonna go, man. They're gonna pick Lomachenko, man. That's why you see they was pushing that shit. And plus they're top rank, so it makes sense to go that route. Because Lomachenko's with top rank, so they already calling out Lomachenko. So I think they're gonna go that route, man.
Lomachenko don't want that, man. He don't want that.
Yeah, he probably don't, but you know what? Bob Arum,
Lomachenko, he'll go fight
Bob
Teofimo.
Arum. One thing I like about Bob Arum, that motherfucker, when he want his money, he gonna put your ass in there, man.
Yeah, but Lomachenko is a golden child. What he can do is, since he has a tarnished relationship with Teofimo's father, I can see Bob Arum putting together a Lomachenko Teofimo fight.
At what
It's
weight
like
though? Yeah, 140.
it's some type of like title eliminator, type thing
Or you think it's gonna
to
be a catch weight or some shit?
at a catch weight.
Okay.
I can see it going on at a catch weight.
Yeah, because Loma's flexible to catch weight, so I could see that happening. As a matter of fact, he's been wanting to get that get back, so I could definitely see that happening. And plus, Teofimo's last opponent, man, that he fought, he was supposed to do what he did against the last opponent, man. It's like Teofimo has disappeared off the face of the planet since the whole
Yeah,
Kambosos fight. And you were right about how fighters are viewed, because in Hall of Fame, no two fighters are alike. There are fighters who have a Hall of Fame career that is prestigious, and you cannot question their Hall of Fame because they have fought champion after champion after champion after champion, and we know the fights that they fought and when they fought the fighter. And then there are guys that catch guys at the right time, and they try to put those guys on the same level, but they're not on the same level
right.
because you caught the guy at the right time. Like Cambosos, the reason why these types of guys, their undisputed don't mean shit, or their belts that they've collected don't mean shit. They're catching guys at the right time. When you catch fighters at the right time and you beat them the way that you beat them, nobody respects that the same way that they would respect you fighting someone, you defend your title, and you go a long time you defend. It's nowadays people are giving props to people that are champions just being champions. Just being a champion, in boxing, the way that we preserve the standard of boxing, that ain't enough. Let's see how long you can defend those titles. At least let's see how long you can reign as a champion. To me, that's more impressive because of the confidence, the determination, the discipline, and the will that you have to continuously do that. That's why you see I am heavy-handed with Deontay Wilder, but as a heavyweight, I still respect the fact that since Muhammad Ali, he has 10 title defenses. I still respect that. He's the longest reigning current heavyweight, and he gets something for that. Something has to be said for that, because there's just nowadays in boxing, shit just don't happen. And this is why I respect
Yeah.
Earl Spence, because this man's been a unified champion for how long now? How long he's been defending belts? These are things that you got to respect. And we don't respect guys like Terrence Crawford. Now people gonna say, well, Bud, no, that shit don't happen. Not when you're fighting opponents that you're expected to win. Don't try to tie Bud into this, because people gonna try to be slick. We're talking about fighting opponents that you can potentially lose to, opponents
Yeah.
that can potentially beat you.
You in there fighting Amir Khan.
Exactly.
You in there fighting Amir Khan at a time when like this you fought Amir Khan when Thurman was in his prime.
Yep.
You fought Amir Khan when Danny Garcia was in way better shape.
Yep.
Ugas was in way better shape. Porter was in way better shape.
Mm-hmm.
Like you waited. Like I said, you've been waiting in the bushes this whole time, but it is what it is, man. We'll see what happens from here. I'm really trying to pay attention to, what's gonna be the next move for Earl. You know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
is he gonna take a really big fight and another big risk? This it's a part of it. Every fight is a risk. You know what I mean? So it's just like if you go up and fight Fundura for a belt, why not fight Boots?
Yeah.
I feel like you need to go ahead and solidify, go ahead and prove to the world. A lot of people
I mean,
didn't
that's
really
a
look.
great fight. That's a great fight. Either way, I'm happy. If he fights Fundora or he fights Boots, even if they give him the Staniosis fight, that would be the lesser of the three. But I ain't, like you said earlier, and I concur with that. I ain't mad at that because it's not like Spence wanted that fight. It's because the card that was dealt in his hand, and then he had to make a substitution on the end to make it happen. And when you put in a position where you're being reactive instead of proactive, you kind of just got to go with what makes sense. You got to roll with what you roll with, and that's it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This could even, have an effect on Earl's ability to make it into the Hall of Fame legitimately without having to like grease any palms. You
Which is
know,
fucked
uh,
up, man. Which is fucked up.
it's fucked up. Like you worried about your own Hall of Fame shit, but you'd have probably like you win or lose. If you guys make this fight, it's a Hall of Fame fight. This is a ESPN classic. This is an
Mhm.
instant classic. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
One thing though that I like about history, and history will reveal itself. If this fight doesn't come to fruition, it will. The world would know so many years later, in the generations to come, that Crawford ducked Spence, man, and that's something that Spence can have, even though it's not like a win. It's something that he can savor. That yeah, I did everything that I could to get this fight going, and everybody knows it wasn't me. It was on that dude.
yeah, the more and more he do, he's actually making it worse on himself. Like if they ever do actually fight, it's gonna be bad for Crawford.
Oh yeah, I mean, the sad part about it is he's only just gonna anger Spence even more. So we're talking about eye sockets. We're talking about bones being broken even further. I could only imagine how much more aggression Spencer's gonna take out on this dude, man. It's gonna be bad for him. Best thing for him to do is to just try to get this fight going as fast as he can and don't piss off Spence even further. Because the more he pisses him off, the more of a beat down he's gonna get, man. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say, Ross, before we rat out?
Oh man, thanks for having me on the channel. It's always a pleasure. Shout out to everybody that was able to tune in. And like I said, when you go in your pocket, man, to give a bum that $5 and he tell you no, I want everything in your pocket. Fuck you. Fuck them counter offers, man. You make the fight, man. Bud held
Yeah,
up
you
the
get
fight.
what I give you, and that's it. Shit.
You get what I give you. When you get in the captain's seat, then you dictate the terms.
Uh-huh.
He let a lot of people down. There's people out here literally fighting for their life to just to be able to experience the fight. Shout out to Spill Dog. Shout out to all the people in the live chat, folks that's
Uh-huh.
gonna watch it. Again, he knows. Thank you for allowing me on the platform.
Yeah, no
And
problem, man.
it's
Always,
something.
anytime, man. Anytime, bro. And I'm glad you shout out Spill Dog because I've given that guy a few shout outs. I didn't know he was going through cancer, but now he's really gonna be in my prayers and my thoughts, and I'm gonna shout him out even more. But I've shot him out in the past before because I just like the way he talks. I like the way his boxing brain works, and I like the way he breaks it down. And then on top of that, he's a Spence fan. On top of that, man, he sold me with that shit, man. I was just like, this dude know what he's talking about, and he got his down south swag, man. And I'm always gonna represent my down south folks, man. So yeah, I respect that dude. I respect him.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. For sure, man. Like I said, I appreciate you having me on, man.
Oh yeah, I could tell. I could tell when my niggas are starting to slow down. That talk get to slowing down, man. It's like when Ross was snoring. Like this motherfucker about to go to sleep.
That dude got the snort, huh?
Yeah, he got to the damn snoring, man. He was like, I said, oh shit. I said, you need to go and go. And then you got this thing where when you slow it down, either you probably got, who knows? You probably got your ass always got some thickums with over there. So it sounds like you probably got a little thickum call going on. So you probably like, yo, I need to clear it or some shit like that. So it's all good, man. I'm not gonna hold you any further. If you got a booty call, man, you gotta get to it, man.
Hey man, yams on the way, man. You
That's
know,
it. That's it. Yeah, malicious though.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know my boys, man. I know how they roll. I know when they get to a certain talk. I was like, okay, I know what's about to happen. So,
For
yeah,
sure.
man, I appreciate you tapping in, bro. And I'm glad you said what you got to say on the next live. Definitely, man. We're gonna have you tap in again, because this message is gonna reign for the next 2 months, man. I'm going hard for the next 2 months, even after Crawford, because it needs to be very clear in the boxing world. Universally needs to be saying this. I don't want it to just be certain type of motherfuckers. You know how sometimes you want something to universally be what it's gonna be. We need it to universally be it was a duck, and for boxing fans to accept that, and not only accept it, but to then challenge. So now the onus is on challenging Terrence Crawford, challenging his morale, challenging him as an individual, and not having him in this comfortable seat where he thinks he could just do whatever he wants. Doesn't work like that. After all, we're the consumers. So if we're consuming your shit, you need to make us happy after all as well too.
Right. Yeah, another important thing before I get off of here, we the black community has been represented, graciously by Al Heyman.
Uh-huh.
And we don't we've kind of had, tension with the Hispanic community or Hispanic fighters, whatever the case may be, the rivalry, the racial undertones associated with that situation. Despite whatever preconceived barriers that may be there, even these Mexican fighters have never spoken out against Al Heyman in regards to, his compensation, his business practices, his reputation in any type of negative light. Who is Crawford to, passively, I guess somewhat accuse them of a robbery that hasn't even happened yet? Like, he's not known for robbing people, but you're accusing him that he may rob you, or you're implying that he may rob you. And of course, like, again, the Mexicans, they have every right to be apprehensive, to be vigilant about their business dealings with black people. But they quickly sign up on that dotted line. And look at how quickly, their financial situation turns around. Look at Mikey Garcia. Look at Andy Ruiz. Look at Leo Santa Cruz. Look at Pitbull Cruz. Every day he's taking care of them just fine. You don't hear them saying anything about his business practices. He's gonna take care of you, and what you decide to do with the money is on you. Thurman gambled a lot of his away. Broner screwed a lot of his away. There's been a few fighters that have taken good care of the money that they made from Al Heyman. Floyd being one of them. Andre Berto, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. A lot of PBC fighters have done very well financially. You don't hear any of them complaining. You may hear Adrian Broner being a spoiled brat because he wants another payday. He wants certain accommodations afforded to him because he knows the kind of money that he can make. And so, like I said, the whole implications behind trying to create this, manufacture this narrative against Al Heyman is highly disrespectful.
Yep, you can say that again.
Highly disrespectful. You
And
know,
you're doing that to the black man because let's be honest, if Bob Arum, the white man said 35%, he don't even give you percentages, but let's say he said 35%, you would say you're getting the best deal ever.
yeah,
You wouldn't even question the shit. You would say, man, Bob Arum is taking care of me.
right.
It's disrespectful, man.
Yeah, man. That's all I got with it, man. Cause
Man, you hit that finishing line point right there was a good way to cap it. Cap is a good cap off because you know people need to understand that it's disgraceful, and it just shows that there's an agenda against premier boxing champions, just like they were being disgraceful against PBC having their own belt. They just disgraceful over the fact that they don't want to see black men be unapologetic and independent, man. That's really what it boils down to. They don't want to see that dynamic. They don't want to see that nuance, and that scares people. You know, it's kind of like Eddie Hearn's father, Barry Hearn, when Dillian White was talking out of pocket, and he was like, "Man, I don't understand all of this free talking or whatever. Back in our days, it was a slave trade operation. We never had fighters just talk out of pocket like that. This is what they want. They want that dynamic, not the dynamic of a fighter being able to have his banner, his promotional company name, man, that his LLC representing the fight. That scares people. It scares the reality of change and modernization. But that's what life is all about. Life is all about change and modernizing and graduating and growing. And I think that's what people are afraid of.
Right.
And that's all I have to say on that, man. But Ox, man, I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone, all of those that donated the Cash App, super chats. We really appreciate it. And we're gonna keep bringing this thing back over and over and over and over again because this is a never ending topic, especially as new stories unravel, and especially as Terrence Crawford gets into his defense mode. Because I'm waiting to see what he got to say when he tries to defend himself. There's more that's gonna come of this, and there's more we're gonna have to talk about, man. So it's been real. It's been easy. Ox, thank you for doing your thing and shutting the show down. And I appreciate everyone in the chat. Y'all have a great Sunday, man, and have a great rest of your week. Be safe, be easy, and I hope to see you guys again, man, alive and breathing and ticking once again.
For sure.
All right, peace.
All right.
Salute.